Hello everyone, and good morning. I am so happy to be here with you today with my co-host Karen Palmer. Hi Karen.
Hi Terry. Hi everybody.
We're so excited to be here with you all. We want to talk about peace. Oh my gosh, how I just wish and hope and pray every day for peace in our world. You know, I don't watch TV myself, so I know that there's all kinds of things going on out there. I choose to focus on trying to bring the peace in instead of focusing on the negative of what is happening. And, you know, we have this little hashtag that we're doing right now, and it's Peace Begins With Me. And Karen, I'd like to talk about that for a minute. But before we do that, I just have to say this. Karen and I did not plan what we were going to wear today. And when she came online, I just started cracking up. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So I love how amazing Spirit is. It even coordinated our wardrobe so that we match as we're broadcasting this today. But I just wanted to talk about Peace Begins With Me, Karen. What does that mean to you? Let's do the questions. What does peace mean to you?
Well, peace to me is contentment and gratitude and the experience of calm, the experience of just feeling everything's okay, all is well, just knowing that there is a divine purpose for everything that's happening. That brings peace to me. And how peace begins with me, for me, is I believe that inner peace for world peace. That's one of my hashtags that I've been using for over a year now. And it's one of the top hashtags. And people use it all the time. I see it everywhere. And it's inner peace. And I do, you know, all my shows, inner peace for world peace. So when we have peace in our heart, when we have kindness, when we have love, when we have joy in our heart, then we can expand that and give it out, you know. And when we do, it's multiplied and expansion happens. But so many people have been focusing on the fear and the separation and the chaos. And when we focus on chaos, we have chaos within. And when we have that chaos within, it starts to bubble out into first our family, then into our community, then into our state, and then into our world. And realize that this consciousness that's been happening on the planet has been, you know, going on for thousands of generations. And so we are here at this time, in this present moment, we are the catalyst for peace on earth. We have chosen, our souls, every person, and I don't care if you don't think that you have chosen to come here at this time, in this incredible time in history when we are going to have heaven on earth. We are what we've been waiting for. We are what we've been looking for. So inner peace to me is being what you think is lacking in the world.
Yeah, and I like the way you put that, Karen, that when we pay attention to the chaos and all that negativity, it does something to us. You know, it just brings our vibration down so low, and then that's the vibration we're putting out there in our environment. And for myself, that's why I personally choose not to buy into that. That's why I don't watch TV where the media feeds us what they want us to hear. Analyze everything. You know, I mean, I'm going to get the facts. I'm going to get what's going on in the world because, you know, I talk to other people. But I don't have to constantly have that thrown at me. You know, I choose not to do that. And we all have free will. So it's up to us if we're going to to focus on the negative or focus on the positive. And I agree with you. That's where peace happens, is when we start feeling that and having that in our own lives, and then we share that out with other people. And I love it.
As when I started learning about, how bought and sold our media was, I decided to start a campaign for using social media for a greater good. And, that's how I started the Global Kindness Revolution, which grew into the Global Peace United experience, which has been an incredible experience for me. Watching it, it's really because when I started out with the Global Kindness Revolution, I had no idea how to use hashtags. I didn't know how to use social media. It was all spirit driven. It was all, I call it angelic marketing, because the angels were guiding me through everything. I didn't know how to set up my YouTube channel. Technology was not my strong suit. And now I am a social media expert, going to talk to 2,000 people at the World Parliament on spirituality on how to use social media for a greater good. Now, this to me is what I'm talking about, a divine purpose. When you have a divine calling, when you have a purpose, when you know that there's a reason why you're here, everything aligns with that. And universal forces come from dormant places, and you start to see that you can accomplish things that you never even imagined yourself possible to accomplish. So I wanted to share a prayer that was today's prayer. I do the daily word every day. I tune in, and I'm a Course in Miracles. I read the Course in Miracles every morning, but I also read this beautiful, it's the Guidepost Daily Word. I love Norman Vincent Peale. I feel like Norman Vincent Peale was a big part of the consciousness. He wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. And when that was not even close to being popular, and he wrote that, and it became a bestseller because he listened to his inner, Louise Hay says, her inner ding. Louise Hay of the Hay House is going to be celebrating her 90th birthday. And
Saturday.
This Saturday. And she always said that whenever she followed her inner ding, and she started her publishing company when she was in her 60s. She didn't even know anything about publishing. She just had the desire to publish her little booklet that was You Can Heal Your Life. And she had, and when you have a burning desire, this is what I'm talking about. When we have that burning desire, everything comes into, divine forces come together, and everything conspires to bring you your desire. Like, look at my voice. Like right now, I was just talking to Terry a few minutes ago, and I was kind of down a little bit, and I started to feel that ebb and flow. And, I lost a very dear friend last year at this time who is inspiring me right now, who is giving me the courage right now to speak. And I speak for her because she lived her world in kindness, and she was a psychologist, and she helped so many people. And so I feel like her energy still works through my heart, and I listen, I pay attention. That's the difference between a lot of people who think that they don't have spiritual gifts. The difference is people like Terry and I, we take the time to meditate, and we tune into our angels. We tune into that inner ding, the inner guidance. Like Gabby Bernstein says, your inner guidance system. We all have our own way of listening to what we're being called to do. So this is the message that was today, and I loved it. Was our message, Terry. It made me so happy because I was like, oh, I have to read this with Terry when we're on our show. So it's teamwork. And Terry was called to start this show. And she listens to Spirit the same way I did. And when she reached out to me and said, I'd love to start doing this show with you, can you, be there? I said, yes, because when we say yes to Spirit, miracles happen, and we can't be attached to how they happen. Like I always say, let go of the how and be ready for the wow. So if we can do that, that's our teamwork, right? That's our team of angels. That's our guides. I call them the A-team, the ascended masters, the archangels, our angels. We're so blessed. We are so incredibly grateful for this experience of being in this human experience, but also having divine help, right? So that's what this is. That's what this is. Okay, my awareness of the diversity and oneness of all has deepened. When opportunities to work in collaboration with others present themselves, my life stands to be greatly enriched when I become part of a team. Through teamwork, we hone our skills and share our spiritual gifts in service to others. Through collaboration, we find appreciation for the diverse expressions of spirit and how the variety of aptitudes and skill sets help meet the diverse needs of life. Life loves us and is calling us to enjoy the mystery. Isn't that beautiful?
I love
Even
that.
so, teamwork may not always be easy. So let's stay grounded in the faith and awareness, growing in spiritual consciousness. We remember that each and every person is unique and that we all have unique gifts that are here to be shared. When I make space for spirit in all that I do, my work with others blesses me exponentially in return.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful, Karen. Let's talk about the World Parliament, because it is coming up next month. And one of the speakers, I guess she's the keynote speaker that's going to be there, is Marianne Williamson. And you mentioned Course in Miracles, and she just is so beautiful as the way that she presents it to us. It makes it understandable. Some of the parts that a lot of us scratch our head about, she just makes it understandable to us. And she wrote a book, A Return to Love, which I absolutely love. I'm taking it with me. I'm going to have her autograph it for me. But I want to read just a paragraph, and this is just so coordinated by Spirit. There's just no way that it couldn't be, because Karen and I did not discuss this beforehand, but you were talking about miracles and reading that passage about miracles, and the one that I picked out of Marianne's book to read says, miracles themselves are not to be consciously directed. They occur as involuntary effects of a loving personality, an invisible force that emanates from someone whose conscious intention is to give and receive love. As we relinquish the fears that block the love within us, we become God's instruments. We become His miracle workers. Isn't that a beautiful passage from this book? That is like my favorite in the whole book, because of the message. We are the miracle workers, because we are putting out there that message of love and peace and hope for the world. And that's what the Parliament is all about. People coming together from all over the world, representing, 196 countries?
Yeah, there's going to be 196 peace ambassadors that are going to be coming together, and they're creating what's called a peace map. And that is a plan that they are going to implement, that's going to be implemented. They're actually going to start planning it right here at the global, the World Parliament on Spirituality they're going to be putting together the plan. And in 2017, on International Day of Peace, they're going to have 196 different global peace summits all over the world. So, and they're going to be implementing these educational programs into all these different cultures. And we're going to be bringing together as much as possible. You know, we're going to be using our voices to talk about solutions and not focusing on the problems. We're all coming together, you know, as a team, as this team, you know, of miracle workers. And so this is what, to me, it feels like it's all being divinely guided. And people who hear about this, who have that ding in their heart that says, I really want to be there. You guys, you have a great opportunity right now. And we can put that in the chat. Maybe I can put it in the chat so that will be on the, but you can go to the, I have it as global kindness. Sorry, I have so many different things going on right now. And it's peace. So it's globalkindnesstv.org/peace. And for $75, if you make a donation of $75 or more, you can come for the whole 3 days. And there's they have discounts that if you want to stay at the hotel, they have a shuttle that takes you right over to the Parliament. So, I mean, it's an incredible experience and a once in a lifetime. Really, we're creating history here, and I'm so excited that Terry's going to be there with me, and we're all going to be. There's a lot of people who are starting to trickle in that are going to be there, and I just think it's a really great opportunity for any person who has a vision, that has a desire for peace, and has a desire for kindness, or has any kind of, you know, I'm very passionate about animal rescue and having children's education in all cultures. So I'm very passionate about that. So I'm going to be collaborating with more people who have programs like that. I'm going to be also talking about the bees, the problem that we have with, you know, we're losing our honeybees. And so I'm going to be talking about that. There's just so many ways that each and every one of us can be part of the solution instead of sitting home typing in all the complaints and all the things that are wrong with the world. That is part of the problem. I don't have any negative ever on my Facebook. There is,
I don't.
Yeah, and Terry either, and Angelspeakers and Raise Your Vibe Tribe. There's never anything negative, and we don't share anything political. We don't talk about other people's religions or beliefs. We really don't. We're all in this together. We're all about that connection and that unity consciousness, and that's what we're here for, you guys.
Yes, it absolutely is. You know, it's a dream of mine, you know, just to see peace happening, to see countries stop their warring and people actually wanting to get along with other people. It all starts with us. It all has to be one person at a time. And you know, Karen, I started, the way you and I connected, I started a random acts of kindness on Facebook. And, you know, it caught on like wildfire. People were like, oh my gosh, yes, I can do that. You know, and we can. It all. You know, a smile is an act of kindness. And this is what I tell people. If you can't do anything else, if you don't even have a penny to spare to help someone else, it doesn't matter. You can smile. You can give them a kind word. You know, you can give a hug. I gave a hug to a complete stranger last week. You know, I had this encounter with someone that actually is a long story, but she ran over my car.
Yeah.
and I was hugging her in the parking lot while she was crying. you know, just being that kind person makes a difference. We never know whose life we're going to affect and who is going to pass it forward in such a manner that, you know, it's like a domino effect. That person affects someone and maybe they affect a whole bunch of people. Yeah. You don't know what you can start by just one little act of kindness.
I remember. So, yeah. I remember when I was homeless myself, you know, the one thing that I felt was, you know, my limiting belief at that time was that people weren't friendly and that the world was a hostile place, and it was, you know, people just didn't care about me, and I felt invisible. And when strangers started coming and bringing me food, because I shifted my belief. And I was reading Wayne Dyer's book at the time, You'll See It When You Believe It, and Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, and Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. So I was reading all three of those books, and I was looking at my patterns of, you know, how I saw the world, and I was looking at the way that the world was mirroring back what I was believing about the world. And when I shifted and changed my belief, everybody, you know, I mean, people were coming to me. I was living out of my car with my dog, and people were bringing food for my dog and food for me. I was able to get a job at a restaurant. The restaurant fed us and let me bring my dog onto the patio when I was working so that I could get out of the, you know, out of living in my car, you know. So I felt like when I became, you know, able to take care of myself and I was able to give back, I go, and if I have a sandwich, my daughter lives in Los Angeles, so we go and we bring sandwiches and we bring bottles of water and we sit with the homeless and we have a sandwich with them and we talk with them. And my daughter grew up with this because, you know, she started when she was in second grade going into the missions with me and going into the homeless shelters. And we did a wonderful thing that was on Thanksgiving. They had a program that was in they decorated the church and they make it into a restaurant, and instead of like a soup kitchen, they had it so that it was a restaurant, and the homeless, they would come in and they would say, I'm a party of 3 or I'm a family of 4 or whatever, and we would wait on them. We would sit them down and we would wait on them. And then after, you know, all the volunteers would sit down and eat with them and have dessert with them. And that way, they didn't feel invisible. And I loved that because, and my daughter was so excited. She was in second grade. I remember they wrote an article about her because she raised so much money because she started a lemonade stand, and then she raised up $300, and then she went to Albertsons and she asked Albertsons to match it, and so they matched it. So we were able to feed so many people, and it's such a wonderful feeling when you've been there and you know what it feels like to not have that feeling of mattering. Like every one of us, every person on this planet wants to know that they matter, that they make a difference. And that's, and homeless people want that too, you guys. Homeless people are just having a struggle right now. But, you know, every person who has heard my story and has read my books, you know, has said to me, you know, like one girl right now is homeless. She's living out of her truck right now. She bought 4 books so that she could give to other people because she knows that when you plant the seed, that you can make a difference. And she comes to me and she comes to my yoga classes, and when things are, when she's struggling, she knows she can come to me because I'm here and I want to help. And that's, you know, when we ask, how can I be of service? There will be so many different ways that you can.
Yes, absolutely. And Karen, you know, your story is going to be in my book that's coming out at Christmas time called Changes. And that's the whole purpose of that book, is sharing our stories, sharing what has happened to us, and then, you know, what we did to bring ourselves up out of that.
Right.
I love that, and I love your story. I love how, you know, you just turned your life around, and we were talking about that before the show even began, that you don't even recognize yourself. You know, the same with me. I don't even recognize myself that I was, you know, 25, 30 years ago. It's just a total difference once we make that change, you know, make that decision to change. So
Yeah,
I just certainly appreciate you.
I am so grateful too. And it's that when we do get a hand up, you know, we need to give a hand over. That's what I say. When we get a hand up, give a hand over. You know, when we start to succeed, and when we start, this is why I teach the universal laws. You know, I teach ancient wisdom for modern times. I teach children yoga and mindfulness. All the things that I was dreaming about, I'm doing now. And, you know, I believe with all my heart and soul that any person who's watching this, who is having that limiting belief that the world is not a friendly place, and that they've been just dealt a rotten hand, and that's all there is to it, and you know, God's got it in for, I hear it all the time. People say, God's got it in for me. That is impossible. It's not possible that God has it in for you. God loves you and wants you to be happy. It's your birthright. You came into this world a beautiful infant with pure potentiality, and you still have that in you. Every person who's listening to this, you still have that in you. It's why you wanted to watch this show. It's why you are part of the Random Acts of Kindness. It's why you're part of Angel Speakers. It's you. That's your pure potentiality.
Yes.
And mine just came through. It's like I was so I was like so sad when I first started this show, and Spirit just came over again and said, it's important. You need to keep sharing the story. It's important, you guys, to share your story, but not let it define you. Don't let your story hold you to your story. Let that story go. Share it with the people who need to hear it, and then look at how far you've come, and look at all your accomplishments. And don't beat yourself up for the choices that you made, because the choices that you made you empathetic. The choices that you made, the choices that I made, caused and co-created the global kindness revolution. Those choices changed my life, and now, who knows, billions, millions down the road.
Absolutely, Karen. I truly believe that. And I'm just so grateful to you, and anyone that wants to reach out to Karen. You can find her all over social network. And you can find her on angelspeakers.com, where you can find all of the people that I co-create these broadcasts and my Angel Speakers TV or radio with. Just go to angelspeakers.com, and there's a tab for Karen, and you can reach out to her on any of her means that she's on social media with. And please go on, find her, and connect with her. And we would love for you to join us in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's November 17th through 20th next month. We'd love to see you there. And I want to just read a really short passage out of Metaphysical Meditations by Yogananda. I love Yogananda. He is one of my spirit guides, and I try to read something out of this every day. And what I want to read today is, let my soul smile through my heart, and let my heart smile through my eyes, that I may scatter thy rich smiles in sad hearts. So beautiful. Karen, I love you. I thank you for being here. Thank you to all who listened and joined in today. And I'll be back next Monday. Next Monday, I'll be with Lisa Jo Davis, and we're going to talk about our wonderful archangels on that show. So it's like every other week, Karen will be here with me, and then Lisa will be in with me in between. And on Friday of this week at the same time at 11 o'clock, Brandy Mullen will be here. And we'll talk about gratitude and how important that is in our lives. Thank you all. I'm grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you, Karen, that you came on today.
Thank you.
I love you, my sister.
I love you.
Many blessings to you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.